but I remember one time your dad was just barely learning how to walk. Amos really, really loved your dad. Your dad was
Amos the first?
Yeah. Your dad was Amos's puppy. And Amos is mine. And he was just, it was his dog. Jonah would grab a hold of Amos. He would grab him by the ear. He'd grab him by the lips. Oh, it was amazing. And Amos would just sort of walk around the house and Jonah was hanging on and his whole face would be twisted. And Amos would walk around and Jonah would sort of toddle along after him until he fell off. But then Amos would stop and let him grab on again. And Jonah and Amos would just give him, a great ride. It was marvelous to see these two. How much they loved each other. Amos was...
It was like the turtle and the hippo.
Turtle and the hippo?
Yeah, the tortoise and the hippo.
I've seen that picture.
Really?
A tortoise and a hippo, how close they are.
Yeah, the big humongous tortoise.
Yeah. And the little baby hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like Amos is the hippo and Daddy's
The tortoise?
the turtle. Yeah.
No, I think it's the other way around.
No, it's the other way.
The other way around.
Daddy's...
Amos was the tortoise.
Amos was the tortoise.
And Daddy was
the
hippo, the baby hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
They're two best.
But that story about Amos at your great-grandparents' house, that's one of my favorite stories of all time.
The one where
Where your grandmother was all security conscious. She put bolts on all the windows and the doors.
How would you put bolts on the windows?
Just, slide locks, like, what a bolt is for the door. You can put that on the window too, so you can't open it unless you open the bolt. And
I want you to tell that story to me again. I like it.
Well, okay.
Yes.
And the story is that the only time Lorraine had a prowler is when Amos was asleep underneath the front porch.
What's a prowler?
Prowler, somebody sneaking in your yard, checking out your house to see how he can break in and steal things.
How do you know this?
Because this was 4 in the morning and here was this guy looking at the windows and sneaking around the bushes.
Were you awake?
No, I wasn't, but Lorraine was. He woke her up. And here's Amos sleeping underneath the front porch, and then he woke Amos up. And Amos came out from underneath that porch, and his head, his hair was standing straight out, and his
Why
jaws...
is it standing out?
To be aggressive, and his jaws were going like that, Exactly. And this guy took one look at Amos and ran out of the yard, and Amos bit him in the butt about 3 times between the flower bed and the edge of the yard. And
the butt.
Yeah. And as soon as he got on the other side of the line, the outside of the yard, Amos just sat down. Okay, you're out of my yard. I don't need to worry about you anymore. And your great-grandmother, Lorraine, who wasn't very interested in dogs, she didn't like dogs very much.
The only dog she liked was Amos?
Well, after that night, the only dog she ever liked was Amos, because she got up early and poured him a bowl of milk, and then went to the store. She walked to the store and bought him a bone. And from then on, Amos was treated like royalty. He was just...
Could he come back into the house?
No, he still didn't quite make it in the house.
Why?
Well, Lorraine liked a clean house. And she didn't want to have to clean up after the dog.
Yeah.
He did have a lot of hair. And, but every time we talked, she always asked about Amos and how's my old friend Amos, and it was pretty cool. So, anyway.
Did she die before him?
Lorraine did die before Amos, yes.
old was Amos when?
Lorraine died in 1998.
I'm not asking what year.
No, that can't be
I
right.
said
After Charles?
No, it's not right. Lorraine died in 19...
80.
No, it was after I was at college. Remember?
Well, then
So it was
Amos, then
93.
she outlived Amos.
It was 93 or 94.
Really? When did Art die? About the same time?
Before
it was
Lorraine.
Grandpa, right? And Amos' second definitely died before.
Well, I know your grandfather called me and told me your mom had died.
God, that's finding.
And she died in 80. 82. Yeah.
Amos outlived Leora.
Yes. But not Art Lorraine. Okay.